Tiger fans, it's time for some Q&A. We threw it out there on Instagram to see if anyone had any Richmond questions to throw my way for answer, and we had quite a few come through, so we thought we would put together some videos to answer those questions. A massive shout out to everybody who sent questions through. I appreciate it. Make sure before we get stuck into it, if you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. We are on the march to 4,000 subs. It's going to be a phenomenal effort when we get there. Can't thank you all enough for all the love and support already, and hopefully there's many more to come. But let's get stuck into the Q&As. The first one came through from Yields Jesse. It's a really good one. Who kicks more goals in 2026, Jonty Fall or Harry Armstrong? It's a difficult one. I'm pretty sure we've spoken about this on one of the Monday night shows a little while ago too. I think... I'm so torn. I reckon Jonty Fall will. I just feel like because of his... I feel like his work rate's a little bit higher than Harry Armstrong's. That's not a knock on Harry Armstrong. It's just because they're two different player types. So in the way I sort of visualize them playing, I can see Harry Armstrong playing a bit deeper, and I can see Jonty Fall getting up and down the ground a bit more, or playing a little bit higher. But because he's on the move more, he might be able to lose his opponent in sort of the transition of football, maybe a little bit more. And I feel like that Jonty Fall has a bit of a knack of getting a lot of shots at goal from a bit further out because he's leading a little bit higher up. But he's a monster kick of the ball too. So even if he's marking at 55, 60 metres, he's having a shot, which we saw this year. It's a lower percentage kick, granted, so it is a bit more difficult to nail. But at some point in time, he'll start converting those, and it's going to be a beautiful sight. Now, we know that Jonty had some goal-kicking issues in 2025. Wasn't the most accurate at all. But if he can fix that, and that's literally just a mental thing, right? He knows how to kick goals. I think it's just a bit of a mental thing. If he can unlock that, I think he can aim for 30 goals in 2026. That might seem a little bit lofty. I just think he works hard enough that he's going to get the chances to generate some shots on goal. Now, Harry Armstrong, he might not be that far behind, to be honest, and he is a beautiful kick of the ball. Obviously missed quite a large chunk of games through 2025 with injury, but again, with how strong he is, his ability to smash packs, take a contested mark, I can still definitely see him kicking somewhere between 20 to 30 as well. Now, if we can somehow get extraordinarily lucky and both of them kick 30 goals or 25 goals each even, that if they both do that, I would say that means we've had a relatively strong year, because it would mean that our ball movement's been somewhat coherent and we've been able to deliver to two of our forwards. And that doesn't take into account what Tom Lynch does, what Tom Sims might do, and then what the small guys do as well. So, I mean, yeah, let's say 30 for each would be the aim. But I think if I had to pick one to kick the most goals for 2026, I reckon it's Jonty Fall. The kid's going to be an absolute weapon. Both of them are. I don't want to sell Harry Armstrong short. They're both going to be very good footballers. The beauty is they're both very different footballers, and we're very lucky to have both of them in the same forward line. And it's going to be very fun to watch in the years to come, I can assure you. The next question that came through was from Malachi Rockcliffe. Is Patrick Rechko in our best 22? I think he is, or best 23. I actually think he is. It seems quite bizarre to even contemplate that, given he was taken at pick 99, or traded for pick 99 after he was delisted by Geelong a couple of weeks earlier. But it's a very need-specific selection by us. And Blair and the team have said they kept a close eye on him last year in his draft year, and that if we had have had a spot available in the rookie spot, we would have actually taken him. But we didn't. And obviously, yeah, he was taken by the Cats and has now been delisted. But as a wingman, it's probably the one spot on the ground. We've got maybe one wing spot locked in with Hugo Ralph-Smith. The other wing spot's up for grabs now that Camden McIntosh is no longer at the club. You know, Trezise has rolled through there. Luke Trainer's rolled through there. But I think both of those players are better served or play better in the back line. Luke Trainer especially. Trezise I can kind of see swinging between the two. There's definitely some talk about, is there merit in Seth Campbell moving up to a wing, which I can understand, but I kind of feel like he might be more half forward than goes into the midfield. But as a wingman, we need that athletic beast, and Patrick offers that. He runs incredibly well. Skill-wise, look, there's a bit to work on, let's say that, but I really can see him playing round one, and I can see him locking himself into the best 22. And I guess that says more about our wing spot than anything else at the moment. And we all know it's a weakness. That's not a surprise. I suppose the big question mark from a lot of people is, well, why did Geelong get rid of him after such a short period of time? It's a good question. It's a valid question, but Geelong's a very tough team to break into. Like, there's a long list of players that are going to be ahead of him with how strong they are. So it's no disgrace for that to happen. And I would rather be taking someone who's gotten delisted from a top side who's contending that no one can break in than if we were to take him from West Coast and they couldn't break into their side, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Patrick, I reckon he can be in our best 22. Pre-season will tell us a lot, but I think he'll be thereabouts, no doubt, which is amazing and fascinating all in one. Next question from Stregenza. Well, this is a doozy. Where do we fit Trezise and McAuliffe into our 22? As I said before, Trezise, we need to try and find a way to settle his position in 2026. Played a bit of wing, looked okay. He actually did look okay there. Played half-back. Again, I thought he looked okay too. But now I think we need to find an actual permanent home for him. The problem is, though, at halfback, it's a really tough spot to grab because you've got Sam Banks is pretty much locked and loaded on one side. For all intents and purposes, Jaden Short's on the other side, but there has been some murmurs about Shorty maybe moving up the ground. But then there's Tom Brown to fit in there. There's Luke Traynor to fit in there. So I still don't quite see how Trezise fits into that mix just yet. Does he default to the wing, but then I don't know whether that's going to be his final spot or not. He's actually a really hard one to place. I think we'll end up seeing him play quite a few more AFL games in 2026. I think he does have AFL traits. I love how he goes about cracking in for the footy. Love that he's learning to take the game on and back himself. And I think as a club, we did like having that left foot, right foot combo on the wing. So maybe that's something we try and persist with at some part of the season too. And Kay McAuliffe, his body just keeps letting him down. And that's his biggest issue so far. I would love to see him play 20 games this year and get 75% time on ground in all of those games plus. I think if we can do that, I think we're looking at a 25 possession midfielder a week. That might, on the surface, that may seem like a really extravagant call, but if you look at his stats from during the year last year, or 2025 should I say, he was playing at about 68 to 70% time on ground and still getting 18 to 20 touches per game. So if we can increase that by another 8 to 10%, I think it stands to reason that his disposal count will creep up with that naturally, as well as him still finding his groove, his confidence. He just seems like a bit of a ball magnet. He gets into the right spots, uses it well away from stoppage. Probably needs to get the goal radar on as well. Would be nice too if he can kick a few more goals. But above all else, he just needs to get himself fit and on the park. No more of these niggles keeping him out. We need him fit and firing because I really do think that he can be a big part of our midfield rotation. So fingers crossed for Kane McAuliffe especially. The last one through from Phil Della. What number changes do you reckon this pre-season? I don't think there'll be many, if any at all. The one, it was actually Phil, you actually wrote back to me with a suggestion, and I agree with you, because I didn't say there'd be any to start with, but you had mentioned that maybe Sam Banks might ask for an upgrade of number. I think that's a really good call. Tom Sims, maybe from the 38, might ask for an upgrade, but I don't know. With these younger kids from 2024, I'd be personally inclined to leave them as they are. Look, numbers are just numbers. I'm not too emotionally attached to how all that works. I know there's a lot of calls about certain players wearing the number 4 or the number 9. A number's a number, but I actually really like all the numbers the players have got so far. Even someone like Seth Campbell in the 44, I really like it. And, you know, Tash Houghton, 24, I think he's going to keep that because of the Kobe Bryant connection. But, you know, it gives these kids a chance to make their numbers their own. I don't think we'll see many changes at all. But your point about Sam Banks is a really good one. I think that could be one that happens. What he moves up to, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I can't imagine there'd be too many changes in that region. But a massive thanks to everybody who sent through some questions. There will be a part 2 to this. There are some more questions to come. We'll do that in a part 2. If you've got any other questions, make sure you reply to the story on Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Richmond content. And until the next one, go Tigers.